Hello and welcome. My name is Jasmine Robbie. Today I'm going to be presenting my CIS476 design patterns presentation on the Memento design pattern. So what exactly is a Memento design pattern? It is a behavioral design pattern. But what does that mean? What does it do? So the Memento allows you to save the state of an object so you can restore it later on. How would that help me? Using the memento does not reveal the contents of an object's implementation, therefore respecting its privacy. So the fact that it allows you to save the state of an object and save it later on acts as a memento, acts as its own memory. So, and therefore respecting its privacy, which we'll see later on why that's important. So say you have this problem. You need to restore an object back to the previous state. So, should you make the private field public so you can access its contents? No, you have broken encapsulation this way, and your program can be exposed. You want your program as exposed as least as possible, so that means as least public methods as possible. So how can we keep everything private and also restoring the state? Well, there's a solution, which is the Memento design pattern. With this pattern, we can store a copy of the object's state, a snapshot, in another object called a memento. So kind of a temporary way, a temporary snapshot. This new memento is not accessible by any other object now, other than the object that produced it. Other objects can communicate with the memento rather than the object directly, so it's acting as a middleman for communication. Instead of one object acting, directing or communicating with another object, there's an object in between those two objects. So kind of a telephone game, but this way you don't have to break privacy. You don't have to switch public to private. So what are the roles included in the Memento design pattern? For one, there is the originator. This originator produces snapshots of each state of the object, and it restores states when it's needed. It basically saves stuff. The caretaker keeps track of the originator's history. It knows why and when to restore. And the memento is written and read by the originator. It takes a snapshot of the originator's state in an object, and it is directed by the caretaker. So as we can see, they all relate, all these roles relate and intertwine with each other one way or another. What are the consequences? If mementos are used too often, then this method could consume too much RAM. Caretakers should always be keeping track of the originator. Many dynamic programming languages used today do not fully guarantee that the memento state will remain intact. So, if not used correctly, then you could use too much RAM, and then it does more harm than good. So the caretaker should be keeping track of the originator. Here is a quick design with how the caretaker, originator, and memento roles intertwine together in this UML class diagram. And here are some examples with some code snippets. Here you can see the class originator and the class caretaker and how they relate to each other. As you can see, the originator object is over here. And here's a quick console snippet. This is how the output should look like. Just a quick example. Thank you for watching.